Hey everyone, welcome back. I seem to be out of sync here, but maybe it'll resolve itself. This clip is a little bit different from my normal fare, but in a way it's related to the economic crash, sensible prepping, and even politics, I guess. Let me very briefly tell you that I'm no master gardener, that's for sure. I do have a degree in agriculture from about 100 years ago, but that was in animal production. However, the courses in soils and crops were helpful for my later gardening ventures. I did a fair amount of gardening, outdoor gardening, in the state of Washington and the state of Arizona. So I have some experience. I got away from it for years, and well, now my video has completely stopped for some reason. I'll tell you, these tech whiz kids, boy. Anyway, I decided about a month ago to get back into gardening, and I figured I'll try indoor gardening or container gardening. It doesn't have to be indoors; it could be on your deck. So, this is for those of you that might be interested in that. I'll try to keep it fairly short. Let me begin by talking about seeds. Now, you don't want Monsanto seeds or some big company seeds. You want, look down at the bottom here. Oh boy, the lighting is horrible. Oh, there. Heirloom seeds. Heirloom seeds. There are plenty of companies that sell these on the internet. You won't have any trouble getting seeds. Boy, this video is not working right according to what I see, but we'll continue. Once you get your seeds, I've found that it's best to soak them before you try planting them to germinate. You can soak them one of two ways. You can either take a couple of paper towels and lay them down in some tray, keep the paper towels very wet, put your seeds on top, soak them for about 6-8 hours. Or you can just put them in a cup and pour in some water. Even if they float to the top, that's okay, they're soaking. No longer than 6 or 8 hours though. And then you have to let them dry out a bit so you can separate them and manipulate them better for planting. All right, next, containers. Now, the big box stores, a garden department, or a garden store, or a hardware store, they have lots and lots of containers for you. But I think they're kind of expensive. So why go there when you can utilize containers you've already paid for? For example, here's a plastic vinegar bottle. Let me angle this down a little bit. A plastic vinegar bottle. This video is like a slideshow. That's what I'm seeing anyway. Well, you can see the word vinegar there. I cut it approximately in half, poked some holes in the bottom, and I've got a little old coffee canister lid as a a tray to catch the excess drainage. So that's one thing you can do. And then you can take the top half of that vinegar bottle, cut out a little portion in the front here below the handle. There's the handle. And you can use this either as a soil scoop or a mulch scoop. Got that handy handle already built in. Or you can do this with it. There's another container, an old coffee can, plastic, punched holes in the bottom, and you can see there's a little seedling started there. Now you'll also see a small little stake that I put in. That's unnecessary when the seedling is this size. I just kind of like the look of it, and I like to give the little ladies all the support they can get there. But anyway, it's not necessary. You don't need to stake them until they get a couple feet high. But what you can do with that top half of the vinegar bottle is use it as a mini greenhouse or cold frame or a little hothouse in case it gets a little cool out on your deck. Now keep the cap. You can put on the cap if it's especially cool, and you need the cap if you're going to use this thing as you know, a soil scoop or a mulch scoop. So that's one handy container for you, a plastic vinegar bottle. And also another one, the old coffee canister. Make sure you poke holes in the bottom for drainage. Now, when you first germinate your seeds, you can germinate them in the containers I just showed you, or you can get a bigger tray like this. This is an old cat litter box with mulch in it. You can germinate seeds in there, or you can use empty egg cartons to germinate your seeds. You can use empty fast food plastic containers. And I've found that when you germinate, you don't really have to punch holes in the bottom of the container. Not to germinate, you don't. Because you don't need to water that much. And speaking of watering, another container you can use is a water bottle. Just punch a couple of holes in the top, and when you water both your seeds and these little cute little seedlings, you don't want to squeeze the water and force it onto the soil or the mulch. You just want to kind of shake it. Just shake it a little, and the water comes out nicely and nice and easy. It doesn't disturb the plant or the soil. So keep that in mind. A handy water bottle there for small container watering. Another thing you can do for your indoor gardening, and some of you may have already done this, get yourself a sprouter kit. This one, I've done a lot of sprouting over the decades, and this is the best little outfit I've ever seen, little rig. I'm not connected in any way to this company, by the way. This is called Easy Sprout. I got it at sproutpeople.org. It was only $14 plus shipping. And the unique thing about it is it's basically a 4-piece unit here. There are some other lids, but we won't get into that. There's this dome top that has vents in it. There's an inner container. There's some sprouts starting right there. It's my second crop. They're not near ready yet, but they will be in a couple of days. And this inner container has a kind of a domed bottom and vents in the bottom. and there's another piece inside there that snaps in with vents and a screen. And then you have the outer container, which is just a basic container. But the nice thing about this is it creates a great current of air, and it's a convection current that is caused by the heat of the germinating sprouts. And they come out just beautiful, just beautiful. So keep that in mind, sprouting. Well, I can see I've run a little longer than I wanted to. I have a bunch more containers to show you and some other tips. But just to summarize real quickly here, get heirloom seeds. Soak your seeds for at least 6 hours before you try to germinate them either on wet paper towels or on or in a mulch in some kind of tray. Make your own containers. You've already paid for them. You may as well reuse them, recycle a little bit. Get yourself a germinating tray or some kind of tray that you can put your mulch in, or go ahead and just put them in this this vinegar container. Now, the reason I like to start them out in a bigger tray is because I like to raise a bunch of seedlings. And then you can pick the strongest, the best looking ones, take the others and just mash them down into the mulch for what's called green manure, nutrients for the future. So they don't go to waste. Don't just plant 1 or 2 or 3 or 6 seeds. Plant a bunch of seeds and then winnow them out, you know, as they sprout up. Let the best ones survive. Now, watering. Make sure you have holes punched in the bottom of the containers, obviously, and some kind of catch basin or secondary containment or tray underneath, so you don't either stain your porch or deck or in the house, wherever they are in the house. In terms of mulch, you know, you can make your own mulch. It's not that hard, but it is time consuming because you have to kind of, you know, mash it up and grind it up, and, you know, dead leaves and grass clippings and worm castings and whatever else you can get that's organic matter, so you can make humus. I saw somebody here on YouTube call it hummus. I think hummus is something you eat. Humus is what we're talking about here. And then light. Make sure they get as much light as possible. Plants need light. And if you're raising them indoors, because maybe it's a little chilly this time of year, when it does get kind of warm out on the deck, get those containers out there and let them get some sunlight. Keep them close to windows. Let them get as much light as possible. They gotta have that light. Okay, I think that's enough for now. I'll make another clip and show you a bunch more containers and have some more tips for you. I hope you take this up if you never have before, because I'm telling you, and I'm biased obviously, but raising critters, I don't care if they're animals or plants, and here we're talking about plants, raising the little plants from a seed all the way to maturity and then eating the result is really spiritually refreshing. It's just a good thing to do. And of course it saves you some money, and it helps prepare you in case sometime this year the crash is already in progress, economic crash, culminates and distribution stops because credit is gone, distribution of goods, for a time. Who knows how long. Might be a few days or a week or a month. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, regardless of any crash or anything like that, sensible prepping for a crash, take up gardening. It's just fantastic. Okay? Alright, thanks for dropping in. Now I'm going to see if this video was so out of sync that I can't post it. I don't know what's wrong with this recording system, but it seems to be all messed up at times. Everybody take care and be well.